Hey guys, welcome to another installment of Why Doesn't He Like Me Back? Starring me. Before I get into the video, these are this week's top comments. Shout out to you guys, like, you're amazing. If you want to be in next week's video, make sure to comment, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on your post notifications, because if you haven't heard yet, YouTube is changing its partnership programs, so small channels are kind of being fucked over in a way because I won't be able to monetize my videos, which is fine, but the YouTube algorithm tends to prefer monetized videos, so my videos won't be suggested or recommended as much as other ones. So if you want to see more of this face, just subscribe. So this story is from my second year at uni. I've got like a whole playlist of uni stories if you want to have a look at that. And as you can tell by the title, this is the time where I apparently was a psycho. So let's call the guy Rick. I met him in first year. We have a lot of mutual friends and it was just on a random night out and I met him and we got on really well apparently, because the next day people were kind of asking me like, was there something going on, because they kind of saw a spark between me and him. But at the time I was still kind of involved with another guy. So at the start of second year, I was out again and I'd lost all my friends in the club, and that tends to happen a lot because I just wander around, and I bumped into someone on the dance floor and turned around and it was him. We were dancing, we were hanging out, like walking around the club trying to find my friends, dancing some more, and then we ended up getting with each other. Yeah, he was nice. At this point I'd found all my friends, and the thing is, like, when I get with someone I don't really want to spend the whole night with them. Like, I'm out to be out with my friends and not with this person who's just kind of like tagging along with me, you know? Like, it's fine, but leave. And that was happening that night. Like, I'd found my friends and he was tagging along still, and I felt like, you know, he's helped me find my friends, I don't want to be mean, you know? So this would like continue over the next couple months. Like, we'd see each other out, we'd get with each other sometimes, but it never went beyond like getting with each other at a club. Like, so a couple weeks passed by, and at this point it's December time and we happened to be at the same club, but I was still at a different bar for prees, and I met him outside. I was about to go into a different bar and he was coming out of a club, and we saw each other and I was like, hey, like, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. And he was like, oh, like, same, like, what are you doing? And I go, I'm about to go to this bar for prees, what about you? And he was like, oh, I'm really tired, I'm just gonna go home, but I didn't realize you were out tonight. I wish I would have known that before, like, all my friends have left now. So I was quite drunk and I guess I forgot that we'd already spoken about him going home, and I texted him saying, oh, like, come to Matchbox. That was the club that we were at. So he texted me saying, I'm at Matchbox because of you. I was a bit surprised and I was like, oh, like, are you, like, why? Like, I thought it was really cute that he was kind of like waiting for me there even though all of his friends had gone home. Like, it was cute. And he was just basically like, yeah, like, I'm waiting for you there, let me know when you're in. So later on I got to the club, saw him, and again, like, I don't really want to be glued to a guy all night. Like, I want to dance with my friends too and just have a good time without a boy like stuck to my waist all the time. But this time I felt bad because all of his friends had gone home and he'd stayed because of me, so I couldn't really be like, leave. At this point he asked me on a date. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you know that I'm damaged. I don't really trust boys too much, and especially like, you've been drinking, you're drunk, like, are you even gonna remember you asking me on a date, you know? So I said, like, I don't believe you, text me in the morning and ask me properly. And the next morning he texted me and I agreed to a date, and at this point it was Christmas break, so we were both home. We talked a couple times over the break, but it kind of like fizzled out. It wasn't a big deal, to be honest. So at this point I didn't think there was a problem. Like, I hadn't seen him in a couple of weeks again, again, and I was going to a pre-drinks at my best friend's house, and her friendship group is friends with him, so he was going to be invited as well. And I was sat down and he walked into the living room where we were having pre's, and he said hello to everyone, and it was fine as far as I knew. So I was actually getting ready at that girl's house, so I went into her room, and like a couple minutes later my friend walks in and she's like, Rick's talking about you. And she goes, when you walked out, he started saying how awkward it was and how awkward he felt around you. Yeah, apparently it's really, really awkward because he's telling everyone that he asked you out on a date when he was drunk, but he didn't really mean it. And I showed her the texts of us talking the next day, like he wasn't drunk anymore, like. And she was like, yeah, actually, like, he's been talking about you for a while now. And I go, what do you mean? And she proceeds to tell me how, so every time we'd kissed each other and stuff like that on nights out, he would tell people the next day that he found me annoying and that I kept on following him around and that he just wasn't interested and stuff like that. And I was really surprised, like, I didn't think it was such a big deal, like, really confused because it was him following me around, like, him texting me that he was waiting at the club for me. So yeah, at this point I could hear him in the living room because I was paying attention now. I can hear him talking about me and how like awful he feels, like how awkward it is and stuff like that. I've done nothing wrong. Like, why is this boy telling people that I'm being a psycho? He called me a psycho. Another thing, like, one of my pet hates is when boys call girls psychos when it's them who are the problem. She knew him a lot better than me, and she like told me all about him and how he's kind of known for being kind of mean to girls. So apparently his ex-girlfriend cheated on him, and he's one of those people who gets so hurt from one person that they want to hurt other people because of that. Boy logic, I guess. Like, so I step out of the room and I walk back into the living room feeling really awkward. Also, that group didn't really like me. The only reason why I was there was because of my best friend, and her house was hosting the priest, so I wanted to be there to like see my friend. So that night we all went out, and the thing with like going out in general is you're not going to stick with the same group all night long. So I ended up losing them and like seeing other people and stuff like that and bumping into them again. So that night I was kind of still like paranoid about the stuff he'd been saying to people, and I wanted to know like who knew, because I don't want to be known as the girl who follows boys around. Like, I do that, but like in secret, you know. So throughout the night I'd like gone to people and been like, oh, like, have you heard anything from Rick about me? And people were telling me that they had, that he was telling our mutual friends, quite a few of them, that I'd been like following him around and that I was annoying and stuff like that. And I have an issue with that. Like, why? It's not even true. So on the dance floor I bumped into her and I was like, hey, like, can we talk for a second? And at this point I'm really drunk and like we shouldn't be having this conversation, like a serious one. So we sit down and I'm just like, hey, look, I've been hearing from a couple of people that you've been saying this about me, like, why? And this boy has the audacity to completely deny everything. Like, my best friend told me this, like she wouldn't lie about that. And he goes, no, oh my god, I would never say that about you, what the hell, like, who told you that, blah blah. But obviously I'm not gonna snitch, so I don't tell him. And he promises me that he never said anything to anyone, and I'm just too nice for my own good, so I just forget about it and I say, look, my impression was that we kind of like fizzled out. Like, I wasn't super keen, neither were you, like there's no hard feelings between us. And he was like explaining to me how once he'd asked me out on a date that he kind of got scared, which I get. Like, you're in the moment, you really like someone and you wanna, like, I don't know, go on a date with them and then later on regret it, and that's what he did. Like, he said to me, I'm not looking for commitment and I'm not looking for a girlfriend. Like, to be honest, I'm not really looking for a relationship either, which was true. Like, I wasn't looking for a relationship with him. Once I said that, he was like, oh yeah, same, I'm so happy we're on the same page. So like, do you wanna come round tonight and like watch a movie? And I was like, I've just like, I've literally just friend zoned you, like, why? I'm not gonna watch a movie with you. Like, obviously I know what it means when a boy asks you to watch a movie, with him after a night out, and I had to decline. So again, I was just like, oh, like, I'm so happy we're friends now and we don't have to talk about each other behind our backs. And so we went back to the dance floor, danced for a bit. At this point I had his jacket around my waist because we were outside and I was quite cold, and he gave me his jacket and we were dancing, and he leans in to kiss me, and I'm just like, what is wrong with this boy? Like, did we just have that conversation, or did that happen in my head? Like, he tried to kiss me like twice, and like, fair enough to him for being so persistent, but I just didn't want to get with him. So then like 2 minutes later, one of his friends comes over, the one that was at the pre-drinks, who didn't really like me too much. Rick kind of like walked away to his friends, and one of his other friends, a girl, came over. She's like, hi, that's my friend's jacket, can I have it? And I was just like, why are you saying, what? Like, we both know Rick, why are you pretending like you don't know me and I don't know him? Like, you could have just said his name. But like, I just thought that was weird, and like, she took it was fine. And what I later found out was, after I refused to kiss him, his friendship group came onto the dance floor and was like near us and could see us, and he had to like go back to pretending like I was a psycho even though it was him. And he was like making faces at his friends, and you know, like when you're dancing with someone that you don't really want to dance with, and you're just kind of like making faces at your friends to tell them to come over and help you and like get you away from this person. And he was doing that when my back was turned. He'd like be like he'd mouth help and stuff like that to his friends for them to come over, for them to get me away from him. So like, obviously my best friend saw that as well, and like, she later told me, and she was like, yeah, he was pulling faces behind your back the whole time. Why? Like, literally 60 seconds ago you were asking me to come to your house and you were trying to get with me, and the second that you realize that you can't get with me, you want to go back to pretending like I'm the psycho and I'm being annoying and I don't want to get off you when it's you. At this point, I just realized like, he was a garbage person. Like, what is wrong with you? And the thing that I want to note is, I don't want to be mean, and I don't want to be superficial, but I don't want to say he's ugly, but he's the kind of boy you would give a chance to, because he's got a nice personality. But the second that you show that you're actually interested, he would start acting like you're the ugly one. Advice for 2018, just like, stay away from boys like that. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, leave a comment, and maybe I'll include you in my next week's video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. I put a link in the description, and I'll see you next week.